Hey, warriors. So, I want to talk about something. It's pretty subtle, but it's very, very powerful. Okay? You know, what we eat, what we drink, what we watch, what we scroll, what we expose ourselves to, but more importantly, how we relate to these things. Okay? Because intention matters more than people realize. And judgment matters more than people like to admit. Okay? Um Judgment can do more harm than the thing itself. Okay? We'll start there. Okay? If you eat something while shaming yourself, your body starts to tighten. Okay? If you drink something, while telling yourself that you're doing damage, do you know what I mean? Your nervous system, goes into stress mode. Okay? If you watch something while you're flooding yourself with fear, do you know what I mean? Your body believes you're in danger. You with me? That stress response does more harm than the sugar, the burger, or the fucking screen. You understand? And this isn't spiritual. This is just straight up biological. You know what I mean? Intention regulates the body. Your body responds first to safety, threat, calm, meaning, not morality. Okay? If you eat, you know, with fear, I guess, and guilt, your digestion constricts. Okay? If you eat with gratitude and with presence, your body stays regulated. Okay? That doesn't mean, nothing matters. It means your state matters more than your perfection. You know what I'm saying? You know, um, a hamburger. Okay? Let's be real. Okay? If we sit there eating a hamburger while running a mental loop of this is poison, everything is toxic, they're trying to kill us. Your body hears threat, 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 plain and simple. You understand? You know, Digestion shuts down, inflammation increases, stress hormones fucking spike. But if you eat the same motherfucking meal with presence, with gratitude, with neutrality, your body is going to process it far more efficiently. Plain and simple. You know, that's just the way that it fucking is. And it's not because, the food magically changes, you know, um but because your body isn't no longer fighting itself. I hope I'm explaining this clearly. Um like blessing. Blessing food doesn't mean pretending that it's perfect, okay? I'm not even fucking I'm not saying that, okay? Cuz I know the food that we're eating, okay? But it means, like when you're blessing your food, you are refusing to poison yourself with fear while consuming that poisonous food. Do you get my point? Blessing is coherence, presence, regulation. You know, it It's saying, I'm safe. You know, my body knows how to process and I trust my system. Anybody want to tell me how we can't heal ourselves? Anybody want to tell me how our cells don't react to us speaking to them, telling them that we love them? Anybody want to try? I didn't think so. I'm just kidding. But you know what I'm saying. You know, that trust changes physiology. You know, and this applies to, you know, the same thing with that, what we watch. Okay. If, if you watch war, violence, outrage while emotionally immersing yourself, your nervous system doesn't know that it's a screen. That's why we cry at sad movies. Do you understand? It responds, as if it's actually happening to you. Okay? But if you witness, with awareness, without fixation, fear, or obsession, your body stays regulated. I hope I'm explaining this right. The information without the embodiment becomes far more harmful than the thing. Okay? Intention is not an excuse, neither. It's a responsibility. This is important. This is not about, eating anything, without care. Okay? It's not about watching everything mindlessly or ignoring, consequences, pretending nothing affects us. We all know that it does. Okay? It's about conscious relationship. You don't need purity. You need presence. I know we've all heard Darius Wright and others talk about the jars of rice. That lady said, I love you to the one jar for a month. And she said, I ate you to the other one for a month. And at the end of the month, this one was white and pure. This one was fucking moldy as shit. It's the same concept. I don't know. I guess the reason why I'm trying to, push this right now, why it's relevant right now, is because people are so damn hyper vigilant, afraid of fucking everything, suspicious of everything, judging themselves constantly. That level of stress is fucking exhausting humanity. I mean, at like a pretty serious level. We weren't meant to live in fear of our existence. I don't know. A simple, reframe practice, before you drink or watch something or, pause and ask, am I doing this with fear or am I doing it with presence? Do you understand? It's the same thing as, let me use a different, example. You're eating a piece of cake and you think you're fat, which is fucking ridiculous to begin with. But, okay, you shaming yourself for eating that sugary treat is doing far more harm than that fucking thing itself. It truly is. I hope somebody gets this. Anyways, when you do something, ask yourself those questions. Am I braced instead of, relaxed? Am I pushing myself or am I fucking supporting myself? that kind of thing. Then you soften. That alone changes the fucking outcome, guys. Your body is not as fragile as you think it is. You know, your system is fucking intelligent. Your consciousness matters. Okay? It's not about perfection. You know, it's about coherence. What you consume matters. Yes, I understand that it does. But how you consume it matters far more. Okay? And fear is never going to be a nourishment, is all I'm saying. I love you.